Welcome back to the last episode of YouChat with President Dennison. We sat down with President Dennison as he reflected on his past 20 years as president of the University of Montana and what it has meant to him.
Sunny Pasadena, oh yeah. A little hill would hold your frame so fine. And when it's getting late.
President Dennison, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for the chance to talk a little bit.
We wanted to talk to you a little bit about the legacy that you're leaving behind at the University of Montana. You've been here for 20 years as of this August, and I just want to know, how's your last semester as UM president going?
Well, I think it's going well. There are not that many issues unresolved because anyone who's in a position such as this should try to institutionalize whatever happens. And hopefully that means that they will continue and that they're almost on autopilot now. That rarely happens, but in any case, this has really been like most semesters, except that we're gearing up for another budget request for the next biennium, and that requires a little bit of attention because of the economic situation. When I came here, I found it to be a place filled with people who are very committed to what they do. They were interested in me and what I wanted to achieve. And so I think I received everything that I needed while I was here. I got an excellent education, and it was because people took an interest. What I remember about this campus from when I came here is, I think, still characteristic of it today. That the faculty members are still interested in the students, as are the staff members. I mean, it isn't just one or the other. And they do what they can do to help the student achieve whatever the student came here to do. I'm certain there are lots of things I'll miss about this, but on the other hand, I'm going to be around. It'll take about 5 years to do the history of the university, and I'll probably teach some courses as well. I still teach constitutional history, and then I have a project in mind with former CEO of one of the companies in California who thinks we ought to do some leadership courses. Well, every decision I've made, whether it's a personal one or it's an institutional one or it's a family one, is always based on an analysis of how we got to where we are. I'm a historian, that's the way I think. And if I don't have a good understanding of how the situation developed and why there needs to be a decision now, and what the attributes of this decision or that decision are, I don't think I'd make a good one. So that's the best advice I have. But always, my advice is to young people now, have a plan and then follow it. You have to revise it, because if it's any good at all, it will lead you to the achievement of the goals that you've outlined for yourself. And if those goals were worth pursuing, they will suggest in and of themselves the next goal that you might want to take. If you had a plan, and you must have had when you came, you've reached a plateau because you've achieved that. Right. You've fulfilled that plan. But it ought to have had within it the seeds of what comes next. So that what comes next really is, what can you do with the education that you've got now? And it's yours. Nobody takes it from you. You get to do with it whatever you will, whether that's go to work or go get more education. But use it. And remember, you can't succeed unless you compete. Now you're equipped to compete. I want to thank all of the students who come in to see me during office hours, who have sent letters, who have sent email messages, who have raised questions. I think you've done a great job, and I think you continue to represent the university well. I've enjoyed these years. I've particularly enjoyed the last few years. So this generation of students that will graduate with me at this commencement, we'll go out bigger and better things together. Thanks very much.